Hello there guys and girls! Not only do I enjoy teaching, but learning from the community likewise. This time I found a cool comment under one of my videos. It put a problem on my radar that I've never really thought about too much. When you make your actors shoot at a certain position through menu task sequences, they always shoot at the same spot. In some scenes that might not be the most realistic approach or simply look boring. There's a trick you should know about. Here's what Fester19 Studios commented.
To avoid the pad shooting in a straight line always, you spawn a small object, like the lighter, then give it a task to teleport to multiple positions in your scene that you want the bullets to go to. Then you give the shooters a task of shooting at the object for X amount of time. This way, when you play both simultaneously, it would actually look like the shooters are shooting at multiple targets instead of one straight line.
And that's about it for this tutorial. Thank you for watching and stay tuned. Renova over. Well, of course, that's not it. The more experienced machine makers will probably be able to make do with just this short comment, but I want people of any skill level to follow along, and of course I have some more ideas to add. So let's boot up GTA 5 and put that method to the test. Moving objects manually. To save some time, I've already prepared a small setup with a couple of enemies and shooters. The next step is to spawn an object they can aim at. Fester19 Studios suggests something small, like the lighter. Personally, I would recommend something a bit bigger because these tiny objects can be hard to find in three-dimensional space, even with the blue marker that sometimes appears. As some of the more faithful viewers might know, I simply spawn my trusty candles again. One day I just started using these and it stayed that way ever since. The cool thing I noticed during testing is that the candles have no collision with bullets, even if the collision is activated on the object. That makes the prop perfect for this use case, because some task sequences would not work with collision deactivated. Don't worry, the objects will be invisible later on anyway. So, the normal method would be to select a pad and give them a task sequence with the task shoot at position, which will make them shoot straight at one location you can define. For the better method I want to show, you need shoot at entity. Then you select the object you just spawned. Starting the task sequence will immediately make the shooter fire the gun you gave him. If I select this object with spooner mode and change its position manually, you can already see that the character follows the target. This would be a quick and dirty way of letting the pad shoot at a moving target or different positions. But as soon as you have multiple shooters that should aim at different targets, this method falls flatter than your grandma's heart rate monitor. Teleporting objects. So instead you can automate the movement with a task sequence on the object. The original comment suggests moving the objects to multiple different locations. So let's do that by adding multiple tasks called teleport to position. Basically I'm just defining the positions for the object to warp to. These correspond with where I've placed the enemy shooters. You might be asking, why don't you just let the characters aim at the other pad instead? Well, that's a good question. Like on a real movie set, you don't necessarily want your actors to kill each other instantly. You want to film them having a shootout and be able to show that action from different angles. This is why it is better to have a setup that is easy to manage when the pads don't die after a few seconds. You can then record the actual kills by shooting the actors yourself with more precision, because the NPC AI will always aim at the center of mass with the task sequences. This is what I did for the big shootout in my film Red Roses. Go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. The setup with the teleporting candles is done now. Let's check out the task sequence and see if it works. Since the teleport to position task does not have a timer built in, the candles teleport rapidly. To fix this, you have to add a nothing task after each one of these to determine the duration. I'll just use different values to make it less predictable. If you're satisfied with the sequence, you can turn your object invisible and deactivate collision, if needed. That way the actor will still be able to shoot at it, but you won't see it on camera anymore and the bullets will pass through it. I'll just leave the candles visible for the demo. You can now repeat this method for the other actors in your scene to create a complex setup that fits your movie. The caveat I have with this technique is that the characters will turn as instantly as the teleport of the object happens. This looks like an aimbot rather than a human being adjusting aim or focusing on another target. This is why I want to show you another method of moving the objects around.
Oh, shit!
Flying objects. For example, there's the task called Achieve Velocity, and it will allow you to have a fluently moving target your character can follow his aim with. The problem is that this task will not work if collision is disabled on the object. But that's why the candles are so cool, because bullets will pass through them either way. I have already prepared this task sequence. First off, the object teleports to its starting position to get the same results all the time. Then I unfreeze the object so that it can move. The next two tasks let the object fly around. I've set a duration of 6 seconds for each of them. The pitch and magnitude are at 3.0, which makes the trajectory somewhat level. It doesn't have to be perfect for the goal we have here. The second task is exactly the same, except that the direction is the opposite, which is -90 degrees with the relative tick box unchecked. The last task freezes the object again, and then the sequence starts from the beginning. This is how the object goes back and forth. If a character shoots at it, you'll get a continuous sweeping motion, which is great for machine guns. For demonstration purposes, I gave Michael 2 tasks to shoot at, both the teleporting object for 5 seconds and then switch over to the sweeping object for 5 seconds. This is to show that you can create as many objects as you like and combine targets freely. As you will see with this method, the enemies are still getting hit occasionally because they are not perfectly in cover and the bullets cover the entire horizontal pane.
You ain't nothing but a punk.
Of course, this can happen when you try to film a shootout scene. As a precaution, you should always save your menu map before testing the shooting task sequences, otherwise your actors will die and you will have a lot of work placing them in the right spots again. Lucky for us, the cameraman cannot be hit in GTA 5. Complex movements. If you want to go all the way with one object, you can create complex object movements with the task sequences. Here's an example where the candles teleport to one position, then get an Achieve Velocity task, freeze again, then get a push force for some nice physics, then the object freezes again and teleports, only to move around again with some velocity. If you're a Patreon supporter, you can download all my menu maps to check out task sequences like these and try to copy them. This one has 18 tasks and of course could be a lot longer as well. That way you can simulate an agile moving target without even having a character down the range. As I've said earlier, once you're happy with the movement of these objects, you can turn them invisible so that they will not be seen on camera. Adding more actions. Shootouts are not just about the characters firing at each other the whole time. You also might want them to react, move around, or communicate. I've prepared another character here with a more complex task sequence. He is firing at different of these moving candles during the sequence. In between you can see a variety of actions played out through different animations, including switching cover. The transitions are not always perfect, but you can oftentimes tweak that stuff if you go into more detail. Otherwise you can always mask bad animation transitions with the way you frame your shots. It can be tricky to chain all of these events together fluently, but it might give your scenes a unique touch compared to the standard animations you see in every other machinima. Adding speech events in between is perfect for the dialogue in your script.
Alright, you asked for it, now I'm gonna kick your ass!
As you can see here, I'm trying to get a first impression of how the camera could move around with the character by using the spooner mode.
I got your back!
Animation Domination. It felt like I needed to add one more chapter here, just to point out how many cool combat related animations you can find in the game. I am demonstrating a few of them here that you could use to spice up your shootouts. Some good keywords to search for in Menyoo are weapon, aim, gun, cover, 1H or 2H for one-handed or two-handed, fire, heist, or you search for specific weapon names or missions. Instead of just killing the NPCs by gunshots, you can use some of these animations for better death scenes. This one over here looks like he could be walking through deep water with the gun raised higher. I also want to encourage you to combine upper body only secondary tasks with some interesting movement styles for a more unique feeling. You can even transition to other actions with this setting, like punching someone. Another cool place to look for is the synchronized animations part of Scene Director, one of the few super practical uses this mod still offers. You'll find a bunch of stuff in the aggressive interactions category. As you can see, there's plenty of creative options for you out there. There's one more caveat though. You can't really shoot the guns while an animation is playing. While it is possible with the secondary task flag, at least as far as I know, it will look buggy most of the time. In this case, his other arm is going towards the gun. Spicing it up. When you're done with how your characters will move around and shoot, you can make the scenes more realistic by firing near misses right next to them. Many of the vanilla surroundings, and therefore also the extra objects you can spawn, will react visibly to gunfire, which makes for some great effects on screen. To demonstrate, I spawned a bunch of stuff here. Bullet holes in cars always looked amazing and give the viewer a sense of realism and danger. Objects like this planter will give you great particle effects like leaves spraying out. Wooden elements do the same thing, like these crates. And what's neat is that you can pretend that these are either exit holes or entry holes. So imagine a character is taking cover and the bullets go through from the other side. I also like these stone walls or dynamic objects like some bricks or glass bottles. So what I'm trying to say here is, enhance the surroundings of your scenes to show that there are actual bullets flying around, destroying everything around your actors. That way it won't seem like they're firing into a void. Also, do not underestimate custom sound effects. If you can find high quality gun sounds, your shootouts will not only look better, but also sound much more convincing. Outro. Now you know how to create more realistic and varied shootouts with multiple characters. If you're wondering why anyone would go through so much trouble instead of just placing a few characters and letting NPC AIs do the job, then there's a simple answer. In filmmaking, it is all about control and continuity. If you have written a script for your movie and you have a certain idea about how the shootout is supposed to look and feel, the methods I've demonstrated will give you that control and continuity. Sure, the setup is time consuming, but afterwards you can just load it as often as you need at the press of a button. Surely you don't have to create large setups like this if you don't plan on showing all the characters together at the same time. If all you do is frame individual actors, you can create smaller task sequences for just one of them at a time. And now for real this time, that's about it for this tutorial. Wanova over.